God has not forgotten you. There are moments in life when silence feels heavier than words. You pray, but the answers don't seem to come. You wait, but nothing seems to change. Days pass, weeks pass, sometimes even years pass. And somewhere deep in your heart, a quiet question begins to form. Did God forget about me? You see other people moving forward, doors open for them, prayers answered, opportunities appearing, but your situation still looks the same. And slowly, the waiting begins to feel personal. Like heaven is quiet when it comes to you. Like your story was somehow misplaced. But listen carefully, because this is where many people misunderstand what God is doing. Silence is not the same as absence. Just because you cannot see movement does not mean nothing is happening. Some of the most important work God does in your life happens in seasons where nothing seems to be changing on the surface. Think about a seed buried in the ground. For a long time, nothing appears. No leaves, no branches, no visible growth. If you looked at the soil, you might assume nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, something powerful is taking place. Roots are forming. Strength is building. The foundation for future growth is being prepared. And without those hidden roots, the tree would never survive the storms that will come later. Your life works in a similar way. There are seasons where God is not trying to impress you with visible results. He is building something deeper inside you. Patience, faith, endurance, trust, things that cannot grow quickly, things that take time. The Bible is full of people who experienced long seasons of waiting. Joseph waited in prison before the palace. David waited years between his anointing and becoming king. Even Abraham waited decades before seeing the promise fulfilled. In every one of those stories, there were moments where the silence must have felt confusing, moments where nothing seemed to be moving. But the silence was never abandonment. It was preparation. God was shaping the person before releasing the promise. Because what God plans to give you must match the strength of who you are becoming. And that kind of preparation cannot be rushed. Sometimes you ask God for change, but God is first working on the foundation of your life. Sometimes you ask for open doors, but God is first building the wisdom you will need when those doors finally appear. Sometimes you ask for the next chapter, but God is still writing the ending of the chapter you are currently in. And during those seasons, it can feel like you were forgotten. But the truth is something very different. You were never forgotten. You were being prepared. Because God does not lose track of the lives He created. He does not overlook the prayers whispered in quiet moments. He does not ignore the tears that fall when no one else sees. Every prayer, every struggle, every step of faith you take is known. Nothing about your life is invisible to Him, even the waiting, especially the waiting. So if you are in a season where things feel slow, where answers seem delayed, where the future feels uncertain, do not assume that God has forgotten you. Some of the greatest stories in the Bible began in seasons that looked exactly like this. Quiet, uncertain, unfinished. But behind the silence, God was still working. And if He began a work in your life, He has not abandoned it now. The chapter you are in may feel slow. It may feel confusing. But the story is not over. And the God who started writing it has not forgotten your name.